The R9T has been built to celebrate 90 years of BMW motorcycle production, with that name also referencing the iconic R90S of 1973. It combines the purity of motorcycles past with modern performance and still leaves room for home improvement, both technically and aesthetically, to help embrace a flourishing UK custom scene. In the last few years, old boxer twins have become very popular with UK custom shops, such as Untitled Motorcycles here in London. So BMW has worked hard to try and put a bit of that handcrafted quality into a showroom model. I'm sure Adam and the team would agree that this is anything but a lazy retro pastiche. From the offset, it looks very well resolved, beautifully finished and thoroughly modern. It has a non-adjustable front fork from the S1000 RR Superbike, Brembo monoblock 4-piston front calipers. The primary dials may be analog, but there's a digital display to support with your fuel range and a gear selector, and you can even spec heated grips. What is reassuringly old school, however, is this hand-finished aluminium tank and the air and oil cooled 1170cc flat twin-cylinder boxer unit that develops 110 brake horsepower and is hooked up to BMW's maintenance-free Paralever shaft drive system. There's no liquid cooling like you get on the new GS and RT model series, no ride-by-wire throttle, no multiple rider modes, no traction control. This is about going back to the basics of what makes riding so special. The other standout item for me is how some aspects of this R9T have just been so cleverly engineered to make customizing so much easier for people that aren't exactly overflowing with mechanical knowledge. For example, the engine part of the wiring harness is separate to the ancillary electrics, and that means you don't need a degree in rocket science to be able to wire in any accessories or change the indicators. This single-sided swing arm too has been engineered with enough clearance for a wider 6-inch tyre, and there's even fixing points for a side-mounted number plate. There are 3 exhausts to choose from, 3 seat layouts, including one that allows you to remove this entire rear subframe for a totally chopped look. It's all under this umbrella title of organised custom, in the same way that you can go and spec your own pair of Air Maxes from the Nike store. For a lot of people, it's going to make putting their stamp on this bike a lot easier.
The R9T backs up that image with a really compelling riding experience. Yes, it could do the boulevard cruising thing very well indeed, but it's also surprisingly adept at going round corners. The chassis is so taut and agile, and the suspension just seems perfectly damped for UK roads. And I love these brakes. Great modulation, 2 fingers light on that front stopper. So it just gives you so much confidence, especially when it's coupled to the old school cable throttle. It's just a really pure riding experience. Now admittedly, bikes like this aren't about performance, they're more about how they make you feel. But when you have such an iconic engine as this boxer twin burbling underneath you, and the satisfying smell of an air-cooled engine working under load, you're gonna feel nothing but admiration for the R9T. You're going to want one of these in your garage. Maybe not a first bike, but certainly a second bike, a project bike.
For me, the R9T is a near perfect juxtaposition of all those old school values today's riders crave, but the demands of modern life mean they don't really have the time or the inclination or the spanners to be able to truly experience it in a thoroughly old school context. That's where the practicalities of electric start, of heated grips, of shaft drive, even the ready to customise chassis come into their own. So if you're after a bike with the best blend of classic looks with modern day performance, this is it.